10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Wonderful.
Hey, look at that.
Good job, Join Dota. We stalled long enough. Fist bumps all around.
Yeah.
We're finally here in the draft.
We're magical. I actually enjoyed that conversation.
You are playing against the Lions.
Wait. It's didn't we say this exactly? Didn't we actually say this exactly? TI3, this is how Alliance got knocked out of the group stages at TI3. Didn't even make it to the main event. Was having those two heroes banned against them. But well,
5 seconds
now we see if Alliance have something more.
Tusk is going to be really high value. I wouldn't be surprised if Team Liquid first pick it, to be honest. That would give up the SF for Alliance, which would be a bit awkward because it's Radiant side and everything else, but yeah, Tusk first pick.
Okay. Yeah, Tusk got first pick. Cool. It looks so chilled in their room. Like, there's no problem. I was actually sitting behind Mind Control when he was playing his match the other night, and they're just so casual when they're talking about their draft. There's no heavy emotions. They just chill, they relax, they just move through the motions. And with the Tusker first pick up, it's not really telling us much. Like, Liquid gets forms of aggression. It's a solid hero for them, so there's nothing much out of that. It's how Alliance approach this. Like, how do they get their 1-2 combo here? Tuskar is like probably
turn to pick.
Bane Wyvern.
Big Liquid would be pretty happy if they got Tusk Dazzle as a 1-2. I really don't agree with Bane.
Why not?
I don't think Bane is the correct support hero when you have both Dazzle and Winter Wyvern left in the pool. I mean, if they did Bane Dazzle, that's okay. But I don't feel like Tusk really reveals all that much. And like if they had Dazzle Gyrocopter, that would be a perfect opening. Good versus Tusk, it's a very wide open opening. Here with the Bane, you're a little bit more focused into, okay, we've got this heavy disable, we're a single target, but at the same time, it's like you could easily get run over by 5-man of Team Liquid, which they are very adept at doing.
True.
I like Bane in a sense where you can put still a lot of pressure on the mid lane and early on, and you can still have, you know, it's kind of like the Wyvern. You can just go high ground, trade blows, and then all you have to do is just brain sap, and the enemy mid is pretty much screwed. Bane also adds the other element that Shadow Priest doesn't. You can get easy nightmares and Fiend's grips off, so it adds a lot of control where the Shadow Priest doesn't. But yeah, I like the Shadow Priest when you're just saving the gyro, also buffing up the armor. It's just really nice to have. But there you go.
Razor! What a surprise.
Not a surprise at all. This is Liquid's comfort zone. It really is. And
I'm surprised they ban away the Batrider because Razor beats that matchup. It's not that one-sided, but
maybe it's just Liquid trying to push Alliance into like unknown territory. Like, what do you want to do? You want to run a Queen of Pain up against the Razor?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Reserve time.
Mm-hmm.
Team Liquid's turn to ban.
Yeah, and Razor can still dominate that lane. You just boots and then get that fast magic wand with the bounty rune, and you're pretty much screwed as a Zeus then. Sure, you can farm effectively from far range, but you're going to get half the CS, and maybe every 2 out of 4 just because the Razor's going to be able to link you all the time. Broodman, yeah, that's... I mean, Alliance, they're kind of targeting Bulldog at the same time as S4. They're kind of baiting them to pick, say, okay, we want you to pick Queen of Pain. I'm trying to figure out what is left for S4 that he can really dominate against the Razor.
I'm liking the Brood ban by Liquid primarily because if this is going to be the early mech on Razor, they're just able to 5-man and not really have any kind of punishment on the side lanes, which was like what I was kind of pushing at for Alliance, where Admiral Bulldog always finds a trade-off. Like if Liquid push, you're able to push them back, and by banning out the Broodmother, you just don't have that. You're not under any kind of pressure. You can just slowly siege into towers and push.
There's no room.
10 seconds remaining.
Ancient Apparition.
Dual off-lane.
Yeah, that was a really weird game. But I think that Dazzle Huskar would be a great pickup here because you know that Alliance can't really put pressure on you. The best situation they have is some sort of Bane dual lane scenario. So you're not going to be able to put pressure on Huskar early. You have a Gyrocopter carry. This is everything that you need as a Huskar, straight up. Which means Alliance are left with. I mean, I'm sure they realize it by now that with the Dazzle picked up.
They've actually got to pick the Huskar themselves if they're going to block this.
They go for
it's not great, but what's your alternative? You go into a draft with low physical damage, low control, and you're going to lose to the Dazzle Huskar.
No, you have to put more pressure on the mid lane at that point in time. So you have to get your real carry is going to be your mid laner. So it's either Wind Ranger or SF against a Huskar. SF, I think, is the better option, especially since it's Radiant side. We talked about that in the first 1-2 as a possible pickup for Alliance.
I really like the Juggernaut ban out from Alliance. This is like their backup to if they didn't have the Huskar. This would be. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, of course they're still going to pick that one up. It's still too strong, even if SF is for Alliance.
They have a lot of ways to save him too. Tusk will probably get the mech later on. He'll have the snowball save. You have the Dazzle Grave save. This is a lot of sustain. Actually, like you said, maybe Razor will get the mech fast, depending on how the lane situation goes for Team Liquid. But
what's the best offlaner to go for Alliance at this point? Because you know you're dealing with Huskar. You need more physical damage. Clockwork
Slardar is pretty good.
Clockwork can go Blade Mail first. I can't believe there's a Slardar still in the pool. You're right. That's a really obvious pickup then.
Slardar, just to amplify the damage, you can crush almost all the time. He always gets Blink Dagger and then a Force. So if he, if say Huskar, he goes into the Life Break and you Force Staff away into your team, all you have to do is make sure you lock down the Dazzle and hopefully the Tusk is there with a Wyvern ulti, and then, Husk is just going to die because he's too deep. So
I'm wondering then if you can switch the lanes up for Alliance, because the concern I'd have then would be the fact that Slider wouldn't get anything on the off lane. Maybe you could run him as a safe lane with one support, let the Gyro, who's actually okay against Huskar early on until he gets the higher points up, higher levels, and then switch the lanes out. Because the concern I have is just Bulldog will get no farm if they take the Slider. He's a good pick for the mid game fight, but getting the early CS, early levels.
Alliance's turn to pick.
That's where you rotate around the runes and try to kill Fata mid with the Bane sleep and to set up with maybe the raises and the crush. That's where you have to start rotating in with Slardar and just controlling the runes, controlling mid, helping the Shadow Fiend win, and making sure that Fata can't play as aggressive as he wants to.
5 seconds remaining.
I think right now, if you're, you probably decide if Razor's going to go mech, which I don't think he should, in which case I would much rather see the Tusk as an offlaner here, because the Tusk can go for the Guardian Greaves, which is pretty valuable with this team, just synergy-wise.
Rubik is pretty
I can't believe
good.
they banned Away Undying. Slardar was such an obvious pick. Once the moment Ryu said it, I was just like, oh yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Which I mean, I actually like the Rubik too. You can still crush. That's the free RP still. You got call down, Wyvern ulti. That's Or they could just play aggressive in the offlane. Like Tusk Undying was pretty good, but it's banned Tusk plus the Spearbreaker. I don't know.
Night Stalker and another Shaker pick.
5 seconds
Night Stalker.
Earthshaker is just another good team fighting hero, I would say, that's decently defensive in nature.
Is it too many defensive stuff? Like,
again, I would much rather see the Tusk in that position because Earthshaker is going to go blink. I think it's better for you to have more support behind the Huskar than anything else.
Tusk Dust is just gonna roam around. I feel like this game maybe put Earthshaker in the off lane.
Yeah. Yeah, individual player-wise, it makes more sense for Team Liquid to run an offlane Earthshaker, but I personally feel like if it was any other team, offlane Tusk would be better.
I guess the object of this game is if Liquid can make the Huskar survive, and the thing is though, they have a lot of ways to counter the Huskar too. Shadow Fiend and Gyrocopter, once they get the BKBs, Liquid's lineup is kind of useless at a point.
Yeah.
But once those kind of get worn down, you know, you have this Huskar that can easily get, you know, Heaven's Halberd really fast, whatever he wants, Armlet. He can just farm so fast with these small items. Like all he needs is these 2k items, 3k items, whereas yeah, the Shadow Fiend, the Gyro, they need to build up into these 4k, 5k items to be really effective. So that's where you see the Huskar come online soon. They're on Dire side. They have the Roshan, so
If they hadn't given up the Slardar, I would have been completely for Team Liquid's draft. But the fact that like SF is just kind of making up a little bit for the fact that they got Huskard, it's the Slardar that really tips you over the edge, because the Slardar with his amplified damage then makes the Huskar susceptible to the Gyrocopter's minimal physical damage, right? So normally you would just be looking at it as the SF's physical damage is the counter to Huskar, and that's the only counter that they have. But when you get a Slardar, that makes everyone's physical damage stronger.
if they lose this game, then yes.
I mean, I think they very much could have just like forgotten Huskar or Slardar was still in the pool because it's so late into the drafts. You don't expect Slardar to be there. Thank you, Zoe. That's right. It's going to be me and my boy, Rio Burrows. Good to have you in the studio, buddy.
Just glad to be here. Finally invited to be with the fam.
You enjoying your time in Germany?
Yeah. I get free bonding time with my good friends here. It's always nice.
Good. Well, I guess we'll have more time to talk about Germany.
Oh yeah, Germany.
We've got a pause on our hands.
So Blitz was joking about this earlier, but I was actually, I was thinking about it a lot too. About 4 or 5 months ago, about making, you know, your own American food chain here, like bringing in Chipotle. Blitz wants wings. I wouldn't be too opposed to wings, a wing shop around here, but
that was one of the things that the players said about their time in Frankfurt for the majors.
Please give us
more
good
cuisine
food
options. All right, so we're finally here, starting our first game in this best of 3 between Alliance and Team Liquid. Alliance are going to be heading up to the top rune, it looks like. Neither team really sure where they wanted to go. Looks like both teams are just going to be swapping it out. Team Liquid judge it, especially on Dire side, it makes a lot more sense just to go for the safe rune at bottom lane rather than trying to contest top, because you never know what's going to be going on inside of this cliff area. If you can't get vision up there right away, then you're just going to be left kind of at a guessing game. And in a way, I think this one ward does spot out just a tiny little fraction of area uphill, but that's about it.
Now I'm trying to figure out if there was a clash, who would be better in it, because I would have to give the hand to Alliance just a little bit because they have a lot of AoE and.
Yeah, SF is honestly pretty tough to beat if when he goes raises level 1, and if he's able to just get like 2 of those nukes out, that's more damage than most other.
They have Snowball plus the Earthshaker Fissure, though. It's kind of hard to tell, but...
Yeah. Anyway, so we just go for the straight-up split. Not terribly surprising that we're going to be seeing dual lanes here in the mid. Ake wants to make sure that S4 has a good time as the SF at level 1, and that Fada can't just run him out with the static lane constantly, which is going to free up some room for the offlaners. For example, Mind Control is doing something kind of funny
Bulldog
here.
is taking a lot of harassment in bottom lane. He gets the crush off, though. I thought he might have not leveled it up, but that was some good body blocking. And Bulldog is just not going to have a fun time down here.
Yeah, he certainly isn't against that Huskar Dazzle combination. He's always going to be harassed down, but fortunately they don't have a real good disable that can actually threaten. Mind Control actually.
Oh, mid lane to block. S4. Oh, miss uphill.
Fada not going to be able to get it. Is that last bit of damage. Doesn't finish off S4. Fada actually takes a good amount in return. It's the Bane. This is one of the great things about a Bane. Is his dual lane is so good.
Oh.
just because of his great stats, and ever since that buff to Brain Sap, making it a lot more viable of an ability at level 1.
But S4 has his bottle now, and he should be fine. And then Ake still hasn't really stacked though, so he has to stay here. So this is the good thing about Liquid. They're just putting on so much pressure. Ake is gonna be in trouble. Sleep, but you're gonna wake him up? No? No, Fada's not gonna get it.
Yeah, it should be fine. Block out there, but again, nothing they can really do too aggressively against this dual lane, because there's always going to be some sort of fail-safe. Top lane, Bob just getting a little bit of damage onto mind control. He's just playing a little bit of a spamming game with the Fisher constantly. So between our two different pseudo offlaners, of course, they're both in the safe lane, but they are the ones being pushed out the most. The Slardar is level 2.5, mind control, same area. CS-wise seems to be just a little bit more favorable for the Earthshaker, but not by much.
So, looking really good for, I guess, both carries, you could say. And mind control is going to be getting a lot. At top lane, he's almost level 3. This is looking pretty good. And Ake did rotate bottom lane, so both of the supports just going their different ways. And this frees up space. S4 is doing good. He's got 11 CS, and this is where the Razor pick is not going to be working out, I feel, just because he got the support. They didn't get those early kills as they expected with the Tusk roaming in, and it's looking good for him.
The problem for Team Liquid, I see now, is that the static laning phase, it's much stronger for the Bane. If you just want to compare those two supports, right? The Tusk is better at ganking, but the static laning phase is much better for the Bane. So when the Tuskar, for example, goes up to that top lane, he doesn't really have an impact. It's not like Tusk Earthshaker is all of a sudden going to beat the Gyrocopter in a matchup, right? So whereas the bottom lane, the Bane can actually help out quite a bit for the Slardar in this matchup against the Huskar Dazzle. So this Tusk really needs to be able to find the opening.
Bulldog bottom lane. He's kind of trapped, but he can sprint through the creeps.
Kuro needs to get the aggro off of him.
Kuro?
Jesus. Oh my
Kuro?
god. He actually dies to that. Oh my god. Alright, that was just simply not getting the aggro off of him. For some reason, he thought he was going to be able to make it out. I'm not sure why, but
that was
it certainly didn't work.
only 129 gold.
They might be able to get the kill on Jarex. He's going to run back and try and go for the snowball play, but he doesn't make it. S4 is the one to pick up the first blood.
Yeah, so far Alliance showing up 2-0. Like that is the first blood though, but what rune is Fada gonna be picking up here? He's gonna get a bounty rune. Very unfortunate. This invis rune could set up some stuff. S4 is waiting for the bottle to be.
Yeah, at the very least, he knows he's gonna be feeling a lot better, I guess, against the potential Tusk ganks with the invis.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that Loda, doesn't get ganked up here soon. I'm thinking they might want to switch lanes soon. They have gotten all they needed from Bulldog. He is almost level 5, and I think he could go up in this lane. This is right when you see a lot of the teams changing up. I guess the only thing they really have to fear is once Huskar gets 6. I feel like that's most of their initiation besides the Tusk. So yeah, I would say Liquid are just kind of in a rut right now as to what to do to put on pressure, because the Tusk roaming is kind of biting them in the butt right now. So.
Okay, spending some time at this bottom lane, but Matumba Man is now almost level 5.
Alright.
Not much else is going to happen in this laning phase. I'm not sure entirely how we're going to do this mid-cast, but we're going to swap computers again. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, at the top lane, mind control's actually going to be gone on by Loda. Diving in deep, he will be able to maybe pick up this one kill. The snowball actually saves a little bit of time. Dazzle unable to save him as a good crush comes out from Admiral Bulldog. Does help get the kill on the Tusk, and Kuro's going to be left all by himself now at this top lane. That's going to be 3 kills going the way of Alliance, 5-0. Already to their favor. Meanwhile, S4 is actually sitting in this middle lane, hoping to be able to catch out Fada somehow. With the help of Ake, they can actually get him. One raise lands, second raise goes out. The third raise wasn't going to be in time, so S4 actually cancels that one out, and Fada barely manages to survive. But it's not really a good sign for Team Liquid, who are just getting torn apart in this laning phase so far.
Yeah, deciding to go for the Brain Sap instead of going for the control with the Nightmare, and maybe it didn't pay off in the end. I don't know if he could have hit both raises even afterwards. So this is looking 5-0 already for Alliance. I mean, this is pretty good, but this is when things can change around pretty easily. Huskar almost has the armor, you know, and he's level 6. This is when it's going to be pretty hard to kill him. And
they just really need to get the Huskar into play as soon as possible. I mean, they did protect his landing phase. He's 40 and 17. He's top of the CS board. So that is a good sign, right? The Huskar has to have a good landing phase in order to feel his seemingly unstoppable impact going into the 15-minute point. So they're at least good for that, but it has come at a sacrifice to the rest of their lanes.
Yeah, already 6 on Bulldog, and this is when the amplified damage can crush the Huskar because he doesn't have the evasion yet. He's actually sprinting on mind control in the top lane.
Yeah, he might be able to get the stun out even after that. Fisher decides not to go for the chase into the tier 1 tower. Obviously not really going to be a kill opportunity, but Tumbaman, he's playing it safe right now. It seems like they may have knowledge that S4 and Kebab are on the side here. Tumbaman starts playing really far forward. He gets quite low, and one raise takes him out. And now the rest of Liquid start backing themselves away. They're going to go for a TP out on Jerix. That should be fine. Kuro's also going to be able to escape quite easily. But this is the problem. Huskar, with only 1 level in Berserker's Blood, was still susceptible to that magic damage. So Alliance come in from the side. Just as I was saying, it seemed like Liquid actually knew what was going on. They played too far forward, and very clearly they didn't realize that S4 was going to be there with the response.
As well as, you know, the Shallow Grave is only level 1, so him playing so far up and the Shadow Priest being so far back, it's not it's not very effective when you can't get the Grave off. It just got blown up. So it was good bait from Alliance. Once again, just playing outstanding so far, and they almost have level 6 on the Bane. I'm getting very scared for Liquid, at least.
They're going to turn things right back around onto Alliance, playing aggressively now with the 3-man smoke snowball. They are going to catch Loda. They do hit him with the snowball, slightly stun him up, and we'll be able to get this 1 kill. The TPN is not going to save anybody. S4 is here. But if anything, Liquid still kind of have the staying power to continue to go on him. Yeah. Jarek starts showing himself, throws the Frozen Sigil behind the tower, slowing down S4, just getting some vision, but Tumbaman's quite low, pops the armlet just at the right time and starts battling out with S4. The Shallow Grave comes in, perfectly timed, and Tumbaman's going to play off of that armlet toggle now and see if he can't get his way out of this one. Fada comes in, immediately slept up by Ake, who really wants to get the kill on Tumbaman with some sort of brain sap play, but he's just going to be surrounded by Liquid heroes. Can he actually get this one? It's not going to be enough. Tumbaman survives, gets another armlet toggle, and will continue to battle it out with Alliance. Is now Kebab is here. They have the snowball onto him, easily going to be able to lock him down. Even if Jerix falls here, he's not even going to go down. Alliance, they canceled the rest of their TPs. Kebab was the only one to come through, and just like that, things have completely turned to the favor of Liquid. They not only get those 4 kills, but they're also going to get this tier 1 tower out of it.
And the worst part is they got a triple kill on your Huskar, the only hero that really didn't show up in the game, and where he got all the space he needed. Now, as you said, they're going to get this tier 1 tower. It's oh my goodness, what are you doing, Alliance?
Yeah, the buff up in like not only gold, but levels are going to be critically important as the Huskar can start getting the levels of Berserker's Blood or not. He actually gets a 2nd level of Inner Vitality. Maybe that was just like mid-fight that he chose to go for that at some point in time and just decided, okay, I need to heal.
See, the problem is where Alliance...
Seems weird.
It's kind of weird at the same time as because Alliance, they have half physical and half magic most of their bursts, so it's really hard to be in the situation when you're a Huskar. I think the all-in play, though, is to go for kind of the Berserker's Blood, just because you're going to have the lifesteal from Morbid Mass, and you're going to have the Shallow Grave.
Mind control's going to be gone on Fiend's Grip, holding him in. Jerix, he can come in with the snowball, potentially save, actually does buy some time. See whether or not Mind Control can actually get off the control necessary to control these heroes to get the turnaround kill. They don't manage to get Ake. The Winter's Curse comes in, and they will be able to save him for the time being until Fada actually comes in. He'll be able to finish up the rest of this damage. It's a question of whether or not Bulldog will survive. Fada has another
5-4
nuke in 4 seconds. He's going to be able to chase down Ake for sure, but looks like that plasma field is not going to be in time to get the other one. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, just see 2 cores of the side of Alliance bullying down this tier 1 tower. Kuro unable to do much about it, just tries to go for the deny, but that's about it. The reason for that is because of Tumbaman. Oh, Tumbaman! That was not the time to armlet toggle. Gets hit by Roshan at just the wrong time. Fortunately, he didn't leave Roshan too low, but that was the reason they lost that tier 1 towers, because Matubba Man judged it as time to do Rosh.
Yeah, if he maybe had the double damage that S4 picked up, he could have done that, but not having the damage, not having the backup, kind of need to have that medallion onto Kuroki here to really help you.
Oh, and the courier gets picked
Courier,
off by that
jeez.
double damage.
Oh, that's set up
Liquid
by
are
the
looking
ward.
really sloppy.
Yeah, that was set up by the ward though. It brought out for Fada, I think his Aquila or something, or the TP, and then all of a sudden, all the way back, and he just chased it down from the mid lane. That was easy for S4. But yeah, like you said, Liquid are on the back foot right now. But bottom lane, Admiral Bulldog gonna get jumped on. He's gonna have the crush. He doesn't have a TP, but there's no way you don't have like a refresher for that life break. It comes back off cooldown in 5 seconds here. Oh, top lane, S4.
Hey, chasing down S4, but actually on the side, Jarek is going to be caught by the Fiend's Grip, and he's probably going to die here unless he can get the snowball. Yeah, he gets it off, goes on to S4, tries to block him out, and manages to just slow him down. Hopefully Fada can finish him up now. They do have mind control with the Fissure, but Fada's feeling a bit too low. Now they have the Winter's Curse on a mind control. The ultimate goes out from S4, and that's going to scare away Fada, ensuring the kill on a mind control. He's going to straight TP away, and Kuro, who just TP'd in, is going to be more food for fodder on Alliance.
They took him to the cow farm and fresh meat.
That was just nasty. I mean, Liquid.
Liquid
what-
didn't, okay,
what's
so
again?
the problem was Huskar TP bottom to farm, and then they didn't realize they were going to be eventually fighting a 4v5. And then Alliance's lineup actually has a stronger team fight unless they have a mech or something on the side of Liquid. So
And this Huskar's really not going to be ready to go until like level 12 or something.
he's
I mean,
so
because of the
level
fact that he
deprived.
doesn't have any levels of Berserker's Blood, even if it is mixed damage from Alliance, it's still, there's a good amount of magic damage from
And
the
attack
Gyrocopter
speed.
and the SF.
I think the biggest thing is just the attack speed you get from the Berserker's Blood too. I mean, that's just great scaling. You need that.
Well, Kebab, he's going to be caught here, or at least should be anyway. He still has Arctic Burn, but it looks like he didn't get scouted out.
So many
They don't
pings
have
right
any
now.
vision here. They're going to see Jarek's Matamba Man. He starts coming down. They block out Ake successfully, so that'll be a pickoff. But there is going to be a fight from Alliance. They're going to try and avenge Ake somehow. On the side, Kebab actually comes in, but immediately stunned up. He's going to be going down as well. Ake managed to get off the brain sap, but he will take out eventually, it looks like, as these Burning Spears go to work. But Jarek, he ends up going down. Crush comes in and actually takes out Matamba Man as well as mind control in the process. Bulldog showing off the fact that his safe lane farm is well worth it with that early Blink Dagger and already another 1,200 gold behind it.
Man, here's the crush again. They have vision.
Fada has a lot of armor, though. It's going to be tough to eat through this, but with the Gyrocopter coming in, they're still going to fight it out.
Bash?
If he gets a lucky bash, they might be able to stop Fada, but no, 2 hits, and that's not going to happen with only a level 1 bash on Admiral Bulldog. So they do save Fada's life, and that is very important, as he's one of the higher net worth heroes, but they were actually sitting a decent position, 2nd and 3rd between the Gyrocopter and the Razor, but now they're 3rd and 4th after another nasty fight.
It's just, if Matamba Man goes down, the team fight's pretty much lost. And you can't compensate for that Slither Crush physical damage coming out. That's about 225. Oh my goodness, that's just too much. He was armlet toggling right then and there. It's just very unfortunate for Matamba Man. And he's so far behind now of the 2 cores on Alliance. He's sure he has 6,000, but at this rate, you want to be at least 1,000 or 2 ahead of the Alliance. But
yeah, you can't afford to let S4 run away with this game, and S4 is going to have a silver edge pretty quickly. So Matamba Man's choice of not going more levels than just 1 in Berserker's Blood might pay out later on into the game when when that break mechanic doesn't mean all that much, I guess. But he continues to go for Inner Vitality. The rest of Liquid, though, looking pretty poor. You just look at the Razor and you look at the Huskar, it's not terrible, but the rest of the supporting crew is at the bottom of the barrel. Jarek's has not even the urn yet. Mind Control doesn't even have his Blink Dagger yet. They're all so far behind. They're going to try and pincer Alliance, though, in the bottom lane as TPs start coming in, and Jarek's is going to spring that trap. Coming in from the side. Starts off with the Ice Shards, hits the Snowball as well, just trying to stall these heroes long enough for the Huskar to get here. They finally hit the Fissure. Matamba Man just needs to be able to get his ultimate off, and he does. Oh, actually onto a creep just to get a little bit closer to Ake. They're going to try and chase him down into the trees, TP out. They have a stun. They don't. They can't get to him in time, but they just managed to right-click him down from the Huskar anyway.
Dire Courier get killed again, Cap. Are you serious?
How does
it
this
has
keep on
1,000
happening?
gold on.
Liquid. They got to learn a little bit about pet management here. They just keep on losing that poor donkey over and over again. It's 16 minutes in, and Liquid, they're pretty far behind in this game. Alliance are up 5,500 or so.
That is so much too, considering how you're supposed to start off fast with this Razor mid lane and the Huskar. This is just absolutely crumbling now, and it's only 16 minutes in the game, and they are also setting up Admiral Bulldog on the high ground. He hasn't died once this game. Oh, they're gonna do it mid. Crush.
Yeah, he tries to go for the ultimate here. The crush lands, but S4 actually cancels. See you later, Bulldog. He's just gonna get out of here. Bulldog's gonna be fine though. That fast sprint is going to be good enough. Once again, mind control suffering in farm actually cost Liquid another kill, as he wasn't able to get in range for any additional stuns.
Yeah, they really are just all initiation is on Jerex and mind control, and they're just hurting so much from that. And the Snowball's only level 1 too. He's so level deprived on the support tusk right now, and it's not helping with these team fight initiations. They can just keep running away from Team Alliance, and Liquid cannot catch a break.
TP out. Jarek's not even feeling comfortable with his position. Admiral Bulldog's going to have a 4-staff soon. SNY coming in for the Gyrocopter. Glimmer Cape eventually for Ake, as well as Kebab, possibly. They both get cloaks. And we have now Yasha now for S4. He doesn't need to complete the Silver Edge first by any means. He can get the completed S and Y, and then break that apart later on to complete Silver Edge and Manta FE1.
I like the Silver Edge. I mean, once that happens, then we're just going to see the Huskar melt. So you kind of have to save the shallow grave just for when the Silver Edge break comes in, and you're like, oh, he's going to immediately be popped. Hopefully they can save him afterwards. But I mean, there's no mech coming in from the Razor. Where's the sustain coming in from Liquid? All they have is the Dazzle, and that's not going to be enough against this Alliance lineup.
Yeah, mech maybe could have been the better item for Razor. It's a Fada specialty. Obviously, Razor's going mech have seriously dropped off.
Jerax get initiated in. Oh, he dodged the call down, and then here they go.
Yeah, they're still going to be able to follow up on Admiral Bulldog. It looks like they will get that one kill. Matumba Man held in, but there's no damage to follow it up. So Ake, he's going to be left behind as Team Liquid continue to push forward through this enemy jungle. And this was kind of what they were known to be best at, is aggressively playing into the Radiant jungle. They're going to now go towards Roshan, see if they can't pick that one up. Alliance, very likely, I think, just to give this up. S4 will push out the middle lane and get a lot of damage on that tier 2. And Kebab, perhaps something similar at the top lane. But it seems pretty obvious without Slardar, you can't contest.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, and that's just really good play coming in from like an understanding.
Unless Matumba Man dies.
You're jinxing it, Cap. Please don't. Not twice in one game.
Maybe he gets bashed, a couple times.
They lost 2 couriers already. Are you going to say they're going to die twice to the Roche?
Liquid, just everything seems to be going wrong for them in this first game. But finally, something goes right. They get the Aegis on Matumba Man.
Yeah, poor Donkey. Oh, I feel so bad for him. And now he's going to be going for the Heaven's Halberd. He's only 800 away from it too, and that's when it's really hard to kill the Huskar just because of all that evasion that it gives you. And since I don't know, is S4? Let's see what he's bringing on the courier. No, he's going for the Sange and Yacht. Well, yeah, like you said, he can just disassemble it later for the Silver Edge, but he doesn't have a BKB, so he can be disarmed pretty effectively. Gyrocopter, he got the Sange and Yasha as well, so if you disarm while he has that flat cannon on, this could be a really good teamfight turnaround for Liquid, but we'll have to see how it works out for him.
Admiral Bulldog, you got to go for the crush deny play? No, he doesn't make that jump, just watching from the distance. The usual Bulldog maneuver.
Are you saying he's a chicken? No?
Not at all. 13-10. 5,000 gold lead, so Liquid have brought it slightly back down, but Alliance are still looking very good, especially since I think they're doing a really good job splitting apart this map. They just need to make sure they don't get caught, and that's exactly what Admiral Bulldog's going to do here, get caught. Liquid managed to find him, and they found S4. The Shadow Blade goes off, though, and he is away.
Yeah, they only have sentries. They have 4 sentries on Kuroki, but they do not have any dust. Jerex needs to pick that up right now. I think they need to have more than just the sentries, and because just you have so much movement speed on the Shadow Fiend, you have to slow that down with the dust. And are they going to get caught out again here for Alliance on the bottom lane? Hopefully not.
Yeah, they're probably expecting a lot of heroes to be behind that Huskar as he's aggressively pushing into that tier 2 tower, but well, maybe caught a glimpse of S4, but again, no counter vision, so it doesn't really matter. They're now going to chase Matumba Man, realizing
just
that
got
the
dust
rest
now.
of Liquid
Mind
is
Control, he's
behind.
got the
But
Requiem onto Mind Control. He has time.
oh, Mind Control
S4.
turns around, gets off the Fissure. That's going to slow down S4 a little bit. But Fada, he's going to be blocked out a little bit by these neutrals, and the Fissure still trying to keep up to S4. He'll get a couple more right clicks, but now here comes Admiral Bulldog just in time to save the day. The snowball is not going to be enough, and Ice Shards not going to blank anybody out either. Matumba Man, he really wasn't there at all. He was pushing out that middle lane, and Alliance started pushing back out at him, so he wasn't able to do much. Loda getting spotted out by Fada. Just walks himself away. Just hoping to be able to push down these waves and keep this game going later. The Gyrocopter is pretty heavily countered by both Huskar and Razor in the mid game, so Alliance is probably just hoping to push this late game if possible.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like it does counter the Huskar once you get the BKB from the flaming, the fire arrows.
The burning
spears, yeah. And then you have, but at the same time, like you said, the static link is just going to be causing havoc on the Gyrocopter, so it's kind of like half and half into the later stages of the game, but they always have the Shadow Fiend to back up on. And since S4 has been playing absolutely amazing, still top net worth here, and he's going to have enough DPS, I feel like, to take down this Huskar.
SNY complete for Fada now. Loda thinking about going on in with the homing missile. They do have the Bane coming in, so if Fada stick around, they have a pretty clear opportunity. Matumba Man, I mean, with the Halberd and the Aegis, he is kind of at one of the biggest peaks that Huskar can achieve. So he's feeling pretty powerful, almost indestructible. That's why he's pushing so far forward constantly without his team. The rest of his team's going to join him now, try and finish up this tier 2 in the mid.
Yeah, most likely he'll finish up the AC just to help against this negative armor lineup from the Shadow Fiend and the amplified damage. And then we'll probably see BKB from Fada. Else, I would really like to see Fada go for the AC. And Crush start off the fight there, but they're just going to back away. This is going to be the tower forfeited. But as I say that, the Roshan is expiring in about... It should be soon, right? They could have maybe potentially gone on that, but...
Not fast enough, it seems. I think it's going to be, like probably another minute or something. Liquid, with the limited time in the Aegis and obviously this peak of power that Matumba Man has reached, they're going to try and take the top lane as well. Matumba Man's even just going to backdoor this tier 1. Nice and easy. Let's see, that net worth is going to start going down bits and pieces with these towers falling, but... Alliance, the fact that it hasn't been a total free farm is a show that Alliance are doing a superior job spreading themselves out and more efficiently farming, even if Liquid are getting these big bumps up in net worth via the towers.
Yeah, once they have both the BKBs online for Alliance, then it's going to be go time, and they're going to be super strong. No mech on Liquid yet. I mean, the supports on both the Liquid are really poor right now. You only have Kuroki with the Medallion of Courage. He almost has the Solar Crest, though. He only needs about 400 for that, so that could be very helpful, adding even more.
Age is gone, and they found Matumba Man, but the Fissure comes in at the perfect time. Matumba Man's going to be able to get off that Air of Vitality and strikes back. He's already dropped low. Winter's Curse, they've thrown everything they have in Matumba Man. He's still alive, but Fada gets one shot. S4 coming in through the side, gets off the ultimate. Now they're going to try and go on S4, though, as the turnaround. He's getting away with these Glimmer Caves, but an Echo Slam gets laid in. They take out Kabab. Admiral Bulldog doesn't even get off the crush. He gets it now on Matumba Man, but it's not in time to save his support, and he has to try and sneak himself away ahead of these other heroes. Looks like he should be fine. Ice Shards, not there in time. Admiral Bulldog will successfully survive as Mind Control still tries to hunt him down, but will not find him. Still, great fight for Liquid. If it wasn't for the fact that the Shadow Blade Requiem of Souls coming out from the S4 one-shot Fada, that would have been a complete wipe, I think, for Liquid. They just would have run over Alliance.
Oh yeah, just because of the amazing Echo Slam set up there by Mind Control. And they just have so much sustain on this Huskar. He's just so tanky, and now with the situation as it being, they fought without the BKBs. If they had them there, yes, Alliance, I think, would have taken that team fight pretty handily, but they didn't. Echo Slam turnaround, great plays from Liquid. Now they're kind of on the back foot where they actually need to get BKBs on both on SF and Gyrocopter for all his evasion coming out from Team Liquid, so they're now 2 items behind, and they need to catch back up.
Man, they were so close, too. I mean, they were playing it right. They were waiting out the Aegis. As you said, I was with you 100% when you were like, as soon as they complete the BKBs. But they just tried to go for that smoke as soon as the Aegis expired and willingly went into a fight. And obviously, I think it's quite clear to Alliance that they have to get BKBs now if they want to be able to win any engagements. But this could, as you said, kind of get Liquid an opportunity to get 1 item above Alliance. As soon as those BKBs are complete, you know, we're going to see another damage item. Looks like AC for Matamba Man.
Yeah, and we'll probably still need to get... Honestly, I'm thinking about what Fada can do. Normally what we saw before in the past would be, you know, Ags into maybe a Shivas, but this time he went Sanjin Yasha. It's pretty good here just for him scaling into the middle game.
I like just Shivas. I think straight Shivas here. Looks like he's going to be gone on by Admiral Bulldog. There is going to be a response to the snowball and everything. Slowing down Admiral Bulldog. Looks like Jarex is going to be the death instead, but he's fine. He made the sacrificial play to save his Razor.
Yeah. Or you just go for BKB and you just run at the enemy. And the only thing... They have two things to stop it. You're going to need to Wyvern ulti him or Fiend's Grip him. So they have things to deal with it, but you kind of want to save these things for the Huskar. Or at the same time, if you get the Razor plus the Huskar by each other and you can Wyvern ulti, then the Razor is going to take massive amounts of damage because he doesn't have that BKB or the Burning Spears.
16-14, Team Liquid. They've kind of gotten back on track when it comes to objectives and their timing. The next time is going to be taking second Roshan, getting that Aegis, and probably trying to push that first lane of Rax.
Yeah, it's
or at
gonna
least force out some buybacks.
It's gonna be hard though. Alliance actually have really good Roshan capabilities where they can they can't really scout out per se, but they can maybe maybe Kebab can Glimmer Cape in with the Arctic Burn over the side, and then if anyone are grouped up for Liquid, I think they could get team wiped because they do have the BKBs now online, and it's pretty close though. It's a very, very close game right now.
Yeah. This could very easily go one way or the other in the next 2.5 minutes. As Forrest completed his BKB, Loda has done the same, so the items are complete for Alliance to even out that team fight advantage that Liquid had before. They're just hoping to wait on Roshan right now, just sneak it in. They know that Fada's like way up in the top lane. They also know that Jarex is pushing forward mid. This would be a prime opportunity for them to quickly take Roshan because they have amplified damage and everything else, but it's not going to be up for another minute.
You know what's also a funny little thing too is if one person from the side of Liquid tried to scout it out instead of using the sigil.
Oh yeah.
And then they just get immediately blown up.
And then that it gives in an even bigger window for Alliance essentially to maybe be able to take Roshan themselves with a 4 versus 5 advantage. But the smoke up. It's going to be awkward because they're going to pass by the pit not knowing. They start pinging out inside the pit, but a jump is 5 man crushed at the Ravage from Admiral Bulldog Man's 4, letting loose the ultimate gyrocopter on top, and everything going nasty for Team Liquid as they just get ripped asunder by Alliance, taking down 4. Fada will be the only survivor, but not even that much. Admiral Bulldog hoping to be able to chase him down. He's got the blink up in 5 more seconds. No sprint. Fada just waits it on the side, but he's going to be caught finally. That's a wipe. Alliance take all 5 of Liquid there with their positioning inside the Roshan pit. You couldn't ask for better initiation from Admiral Bulldog.
The dong is back, baby. Oh boy, that got me wet even. Oh jeez.
I mean, you said you wanted to see Alliance play perhaps a little bit more aggressively in that off lane, and we talked about it quite a bit, that the Slardar was the perfect pickup for Alliance here. And not just because of the amplified damage, it seems, but that Crush setting everything up for Alliance. They're now going to push both the Tier 2 at bottom lane and mid. Alliance seem to be almost unstoppable now after a fight like that. They're going to take this Tier 2, probably back up to Roshan with still another 25 seconds on the clock for the Razor. That's going to be like almost, I feel like, what, 6,000, 7,000 gold swing by itself?
That's almost 2 MKBs completed on the Shadow Fiend and the Gyrocopter. And that's right when Liquid that's just when they kind of lose up in the team fight straight up.
Yeah, the Halberd just becomes useless.
You're going to need a 5-man Echo Slam from Mind Control to turn this game around now.
Oh yeah, he's going to have to do something amazing here in this series if they want to be able to come back from this pretty big lead that Alliance have now. Yeah, 3,200 gold on the SF right now. Demon Edge already up on Loda. So they could just sit back and farm for the next couple of minutes, complete those MKBs, and they might even still have time to complete the MKBs and push with the Aegis still intact.
Right, you probably, bully your way into the top lane, take that Tier 2 tower, maybe establish some good warding, maybe go into the base and try to ward up, where I'm talking about, right, on the high ground. And so it'll be a good opportunity for them just to bully, Liquid onto their side of the map, just map control it up, and Liquid, you're just going to have to dodge fights.
They need a pick off here pretty desperately, but maybe Matumba Man's going to be the pick off. The Fisher gets laid out, only stunning up S4. Matumba Man turns onto him and will be able to kill him pretty quickly here. The ultimate still goes off though, and that's just going to be life number 1. Meanwhile, the Echo Slam gets laid down, but it doesn't even kill 1. Ake's still alive. Matumba Man's going to be just 3 heroes surrounding him, 4 actually, and he goes down as well. Liquid seem desperate to find something that would alter the trajectory of this game, but that mid-fight was definitely not it.
They don't have buybacks on Matumba Man. This is... Wait, what's going on? Oh, Jerax is being so cheeky. Stole the recruit. Oh,
Admiral Bulldog. He tried for it. Missed out. That was a good play, though. That actually really saves that mid laner Axe. Very smart play by Jerax.
All right, do we still have... No Echo Slam on the side of Liquid, and they still do have the BKB on Fada. Is up now, so the high ground siege or the high ground hold from Team Liquid still could be there, and you're going to have to wait for your ultis coming up for Alliance, so they're just going to take the tier 2 top now.
Liquid, okay, so going for the pick off, clearly not the play because Alliance aren't really splitting up.
Right.
Well, what should they be doing then? Because you just got to draw time now, right? You just got to push this game later and hope for recovery, because it seems pretty obvious they're not going to win a team fight. They're not going to find a pick off on Alliance. What do? Do you split push really aggressively?
Maybe split push aggressively with your Earthshaker or your Tusk behind you. Have them save, sacrifice themselves. Hopefully they'll have buyback. But you need to make sure Matumba Man keeps the farm up. Like, he is your only hope right now, and he's still, against a Gyrocopter and a Shadow Fiend who are pumping out so much physical DPS now. And
yeah, you really got to complete that Satanic just to offset the damage that MKBs are going to be able to do to you now, rendering that Halberd,
he might
at least
even
the
need to
invasion,
get,
useless.
I don't know. Normally you don't never see the Huskars go for a BKB, but this is looking like a BKB game to me. It's just too much lockdown. Fiend's Grip, Wyvern ulti, we've seen the crushes. You definitely need to make sure that he actually can have free range. Sure, you have the Grave to save him and the Snowball, but that's not going to matter if you're actually, perma-stunned or you have 0 life and you can't move or do anything.
Well, this is aggressive, not split pushing, but it's just regular pushing from Team Liquid. But Alliance are going to wrap around behind. They're going to go through the secret shop area and catch some of these supports on the side. And this is so important, especially if they can get Kuro first. Matumba Man hit by the missile. Jerax immediately caught Fiend's Grip. They're going to catch Kuro as well. They take the 2 supports out. Mind Control comes in, but the BKBs have already gone up. That's going to render the Echo Slam near useless, as he only takes out the 2 supports. Well, S4 and now Loda actually coming in, but S4 gets taken out. Vada actually does so much damage that he drained away a lot of the damage from S4. He's going to turn off the Loda as well, but a good force staff from Admiral Bulldog actually saves him, and Fada locked on the wrong side. Can't pursue Loda, or can! He actually gets that last hit. Now Admiral Bulldog's just going to have to sprint away. How the hell did that go right? The
Fada,
2 supports of Liquid were just gone in the beginning of a fight.
So was Alliances. Right when they Mind Control just came and dunked those 2, immediately fell, and then all of a sudden you have a Razor on the Shadow Fiend, BKB'd up, and then he's just static linking him.
Did he get
draining.
the full static link duration?
Yes, the full static link duration almost. And he just tore S4 a new one right there. And
yeah, I mean, I called him mid-fight that I saw the BKBs from the cores, and Mind Control made the right play, right? He, I believe he force-staffed forward into the supports and actually got them with the Echo Slam, but it didn't do anything really to the cores, and I thought that meant that Alliance were going to be fine. But the fact that he killed both the supports in one go, and that the S4 was rendered kind of, in a way, useless because of that static link, Fada just turned that advantage against them. Took the S4 out of the fight and made himself even more powerful to take on Loda. Surprising engagement for Liquid that they were able to pull that one out despite being down in this game, and the initiation coming out from Alliance.
Yeah, it was just kind of on Loda there, but he wasn't really able to do enough damage, and maybe he should have tried to focus on Fada and try to help out. And I think we'll know what Alliance want to do next time. You have to bring down the Razor, I think, maybe. And if you don't even target the Huskar, he's not going to be doing as much DPS because he's not going to have, all this negative HP unless, he leaves on his armlet toggle, in which case, yeah, he will start dropping and start DP. Maybe just control the Huskar in the team fights and make sure you blow up Fada, because that cannot happen again.
Their BKBs are getting a little bit lower on Alliance. I was going to say, the BKBs are a decent response to to Huskar, like ignoring him, because a lot of his damage is magical, right? You have the ultimate, you have the burning spears, right? So it's a decent amount is magical. If you ignore the Huskar per your suggestion, they'd actually be okay, but this can only work for another fight or two with these 7-second BKBs. Once they get down to 5 seconds, you're really going to start feeling this limited time until the Huskar really starts.
Bulldog just picked
dishing
up
out
his
that magic
BKB
damage.
too, and so that'll be good. They have 3 BKBs on their side, as well as we saw the Shivas being picked up from Fada. He's got 1k gold, so if Fada dies here though, that could be pretty much game. He does not have buyback, and
How is this going to work? Looks like Liquid are going to get the initiation this time around, but are they going to be able to win the fight? Alliance, they start trying to get towards Loda. Good force staff in order to break that static link. Looks like they're just on full retreat right now as Ake being pushed back. Matumba Man has the ultimate, actually lays into Loda, pops the BKB and tries to turn around with his limited damage. They get the Winter's Curse on a Matumba Man, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. But Admiral Bulldog now comes in with a 2-man crush. Maybe they can take out Matumba Man. He gets the bash as well, but Matumba Man surviving and Loda dies. Now Admiral Bulldog doesn't deal out enough damage to take Matumba Man by himself, and he's going to have to put himself in the trees. Good blink to the side and will be able to TP out. But Liquid win yet another engagement, showing the Huskar he hasn't fallen off one bit. We've seen this before. Huskar is going into the late game 45, 55 minutes and still showing how strong they are. It's just surprising that at this point, when Alliance should have reached a peak with those double MKBs, are still not winning fights.
And he just got Heaven's Halberd there. Once the BKB ran out, it was pretty much game over when you just have Admiral Bulldog beating on him. Sure, if Admiral Bulldog had like maybe an AC there helping out his team and actually able to maybe attack faster and help kill the Huskar, but it was all on Loda. Heaven's Halberd, he's pretty much there. S4 got surrounded by the other 3 players from Liquid, completely isolated, and I don't know, man. Alliance just have no answer for this Razor BKB running at them right now.
Fada's Razor strikes once again. Perhaps teams need to go back and consider banning this one just because of Fada's strong performance. We'll see. What does he have complete now? Shivas, we saw that earlier. He's now got a Helmet Dominator alongside the BKB and SNY from before, so...
What do we have? Oh, there's your Satanic.
If you could double Satanics, I'm not sure Alliance actually have... They have these disables, and they're pretty good disables at that. But part of the problem is Bane's disable, that's one of the big ones, easily interrupted. The Winter Wyvern's Winter's Curse is only good against the target you actually hit with it. The rest of the heroes that are controlled have that 70% reduction at the time. So I'm not convinced that Alliance are actually going to be able to disable some of these heroes. If both Huskar and Fada's Razor eventually get Satanics, I don't think they'll be able to actually stop the Satanic from going off.
Yeah, and then we're just, as you said earlier, the BKBs are just getting worn down. There's no item progression on Loda for the last at least 8 minutes, and that's got to be the biggest thing here. Sure, S4 has 4k gold, but you're going to need Loda to help carry this one. He really needs to get a butterfly. Normally you won't see an MKB from the side of Liquid anytime soon, so...
you don't get Satanic right away, though, on the Razor, right? The Helmet Dominator is just nice for now, but you probably... I think, Scotty as his next item, and then perhaps completing a Satanic?
Hold that thought, though.
Okay? Loda, he's going to be running into Mind Control. Not where you want to be. Tries to get the Force Staff. Gets off the Yule Staff. They're only buying himself time. No Echo Slam, but a Shell Grave actually buys him a little bit more. Kuro's going to be taken out, though, after that. And now Bash, Mind Control doesn't get anything off. With the Fiend's Grip on Afada, they're going to get him as well, as it looks like. S4, perhaps that Shivas. The Snowball comes through, stalling up Ake. And Jerix is going to be the target instead. S4 contenting himself with that kill.
He's fighting 3 versus 1 over here, but he's going to get chased down. Bulldog.
They're just kiting him around. Loda starts coming forward with his MKB, and he's got the backup of S4. Matumba Man's just not getting away from this one. Liquid, they've lost 4, and none of them have buyback. All of a sudden, these fights consistently Liquid, and all of a sudden, the Alliance win one fight right outside of Team Liquid's base, and they could actually just cripple Liquid now with the opportunity to maybe take 2 lanes of racks.
And then Roche, too.
I mean, 60 seconds, at the very least, they can force another fight, 4 versus 5, it seems.
Yeah. Without the Huskar buying back, this is... Oh my goodness. That's just the picture-perfect way of, like, okay, they all executed that really perfectly. Earthshaker caught out of position. Immediate Winter Wyvern Curse on the best target. They got it on Fata. They instantly killed off Kuroki there. And they're just going to make out like a devil. Sure, they might get Kebab here, but that's well worth it. And he might actually have to buy back, because I think Liquid are going to try and contest Roche, or... Yeah, Kebab should just buy back here and really help out his team. Sure, you have...
Just make sure there's still that 4 versus 5 advantage we're talking about. Or maybe it's not even needed. Look how fast Roshan's dying!
Jesus.
Amplified damage plus 2 MKB carriers means Aegis and Cheese now goes to Alliance. 2 lanes are Rax.
Fada?
Alliance are looking very pretty. Fada still wants to fight this one out with them blocked in. He starts dealing some of S4's damage, but he's getting bashed up at the same time as MKB procs. Tries to go for 1 kill. Loda perhaps is going to be the next target. Walrus punch up the air. They do have a lot of physical damage on Fada, but just not enough. Echo Slam onto S4, but they can't get a single hero from Alliance. They're all going to be caught on Liquid, and this really could be the end of the game now with 3 heroes down and a top lane pushing forward aggressively. They only have a buyback on the Razor.
Come on, S4, spend your AK gold, man. Rapier. Make it look good. Drop your boots. Envy it. Oh, this is pretty much over.
Yeah.
They have buyback on Fada, though. They might try to... Maybe if Alliance overextend, but yeah, with Aegis
it's
and
gonna
Cheese...
Yeah, 3 versus 7 essentially with Aegis and Cheese. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull it out. We'll see.
Oh, look at that Enfeeble. This is not even fair. Jeez.
Yeah.
Max Enfeeble.
Jumps onto Ake now. Immediate Glimmer Cape, S4. Oh, they get the Winter's Curse once again onto Kuro. There's going to be no Dazzle to save Matumbaban. He's being gripped up. He's going to be dying here. Looks like the Loda, maybe not. The turnaround, he pops the Satanic. He's going to be fine. Liquid are actually chasing Alliance out of the base. They're going to be A-OK. Maybe they can pick up some kills. Ake's going to be the first, Kebab the second. They go back towards Loda, but can't get him with the Ice Shards. That means he will escape. And Admiral Bulldog, he's got the blink away as well. So
What a
unfortunately,
lucky
Liquid
bash.
couldn't really recover as much as they wanted to. They now have to back up to their tier 4s, which are being threatened by super creeps.
And you're so lucky, Bulldog. How do you get a first hit bash on the Razor when you're running away? You would have just died there. That's pretty funny. But yeah, overextending just a little bit there. Sure, they got the kill on Kuroki, but I mean, once S4 was in a bad position, and then they weren't able to kill the Huskar in time, it was just kind of an easy turnaround from Liquid there. So there are still signs of life from Liquid. They are down, however, 4 sets of racks, and well, it'll be tough sledding from here.
Now we have a Satanic on S4, so a bit more sustained for Alliance. It seemed to be part of their problem. With the Butterfly coming in for the Gyrocopter, that means even more sustain on this team, so... It seemed like once Alliance were unable to like finish off the Huskar, they have to break. Right, but it seems like that's no longer going to have to be the case when they had that big boost in sustain for both their cores.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for... Okay, so S4, he got his Satanic up online here. Still got 3.6k gold. They kind of just need to wait it out. Alliance know that Liquid have to make a desperate smoke or a desperate play here, so they could just sit back, push out the top lane with Bulldog here. As long as you die and you have buyback, this could be okay. But Bulldog does he have buyback? I don't know. So this could be very dangerous, actually. And luckily for him, all of Liquid are in the middle lane right now.
They're poking Matumbaban. See if he won't possibly get too aggressive and put himself out of position. Alliance start TPing back in. They have their Slardar now if they really want to make a go of it.
Getting a lot of vision from the Centaur Courser.
Out of that kind of split position that Alliance was in, I was surprised that Liquid didn't try and make the go of it.
Probably didn't know where the rest of Alliance are. We knew where S4 and Loda were, but they didn't. Or S4 and Bulldog.
Still seeing S4. He'll just Shadow Blade away. Top lane still pushing in. They're going to have to go back and deal with that eventually. The tier 3 tower is pretty low.
No, they're getting trolled top. Easy. Baby skeletons, let's do it.
Best pushing creep. Looks like they wanted to like try and force the fight, see if they can't even out this Rex advantage that Alliance are holding on to, but...
Such smart play from Alliance.
Yeah, Alliance
they don't
just
even
played
have
really
to
safe.
fight. That's just showing, veteran experience. Just force them back into the base, and then you can starve them out, and then you don't have to fight. You can wait for the next Roche if they really want to, or they can try and pick off somebody.
Yeah, with the vision that they have, it was possible they could catch someone on their way out, but not really quick enough. We now have Boots of Travel on S4, so he can really keep up that split push. Doesn't have much room anyway for extra items, so just stall out that S and Y, maybe the Shadow Blade.
I wonder what he's going to get next. I guess the Moon Shard is probably on his next thing. I'm still surprised he didn't go for the Silver Edge, like you said, against the Husk. It's
seemed like they reached a point where they were just like, it doesn't really seem to matter too much. Like they got to a point where the magic damage coming out from Alliance wasn't a factor anymore, and it was all about just their physical damage. So if you just try and build more physical damage onto S4 rather than that break mechanic.
I think we all realized, and they probably realized, you can't really burst the Huskar down anymore. You kind of have to focus on everybody else, and then once you kill off the supports, and then you can just basically go back in for him last. That seems to be the plan, and yeah, with the Silver Edge, I don't think it's going to be enough now to burst him down. They just don't have enough.
Kuro's going to have to find some better way of hiding, though. It's twice now that he's been caught out by the Winter's Curse, and he doesn't have any sort of escape mechanism. He only has that Solar Crest to be putting on the Huskar or the Razor.
I'm gonna sell the Solar Crest for a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, he really needs something like that. Force Staff, Glimmer Cape, just to prevent from being disabled as soon as he goes for that Shallow Crave.
Honestly, yeah, I think actually, if he could farm it, which you're not going to be able to with all these mega creeps or super creeps, but he needs to have a Blink Dagger, like you said. He needs to save his allies. He can't keep getting into these Winter's Curses, but that's just good play from Kebab too. You know, realizing, hey, he's there. He's the ulties.
DP into top lane. This may be the perfect opportunity for Alliance to sweep through mid and catch one of these heroes. Shadowblade coming forward. Matumba Man spots him out. Spots Mind Control as well. They're going to be able to get the stun onto Matumba Man, but nothing major here. Alliance definitely not actually going for an engagement. Just stalling up Liquid, poking and prodding until they find that real opportunity for them to pounce.
Missile action. And it's still going to hit, but...
Missile the leading spell for Alliance?
It is.
We'll see. S4, they jump in the back. They found Kuro. They're going to try and take him instantly, but the Fissure actually separates the two. Now he gets a Force Staff over to the side. They start backing up, but Mind Control's already dead. That's one of the big ultimates down. Going back, it looks like Kuro's going to be going down as well. Huskar, meanwhile, just nightmared up the whole entire time. They're just going to leave him for dead, it seems. Matumba Man, he's just going to be going down. They know he has buyback, which is why they're just going to try and go for one more team fight on Liquid. But this time around, they won't have their Earthshaker or their Dazzle.
What a player. What a player. I don't know who was controlling that Centaur, but that just completely crushed the Earthshaker. He couldn't even use Yule Scepter. Oh my goodness, and they were able to burst him down there. That was a really good play from that.
Tier 3 already down. Here comes the buyback, and the 3 versus 5 should be ensuing here. Bada leading with the Shivas. Dealing out some damage, going on to Ake, trying to get him real quickly, but they've already taken out in the back. Emerald Bulldog has gone in and taken out the Tusk. Now it's just left up to the 2 cores. They're going to be able to get Ake, but can they deal with the cores of Alliance? Doesn't look like it. It's just too much damage. Matumba Man slowed down S4, just letting out the celebratory ultimate because Alliance know they've got game number 1 in the bag.
Man, what a game 1 of this series. Holy cow. And now we know who's here to play, guys. It seems to be Alliance. Here to stay. That was a really amazing game for them. You're not going to win with no stupid Huskar Dazzle.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at that draft. It looked pretty nasty as soon as we saw the Huskar versus a Gyrocopter. We called it out before it happened, but Alliance still had the appropriate response. They were able to pick up the Slardar, which was a great 5th pick, but they also played, I would say, very well. Liquid made some mistakes, but Alliance really capitalized on those mistakes quite well.
Yeah, they just had the most amazing early game for Alliance. They started off, I think, 6-0 to start off the game. They kind of threw away a pretty big lead. Bottom